Well, hi everybody. It is almost 6:30, which means it's time for a little bit of yoga here. But guess what? Couldn't quite decide what the weather was going to do. Didn't know if it was going to rain or if it was going to be sun. We were really hoping to be in person tonight, but because of the storm clouds that are moving in, probably a better call to stay at home and stay sheltered. But we can still, of course, enjoy the practice that is yoga. And in case you didn't know, does anybody know what today is? Anybody know? Any guesses? Any guesses? It's International Day of Yoga. Dun, dun, dun. So you can't stop the yoga on International Day of Yoga. So I'm so happy that you guys decided to join me and practice, especially on this day. There are thousands, if not millions of people across the globe today that are celebrating the gift that is yoga. It is a UN recognized holiday today, June 21st, every year, International Day of Yoga. So extra super excited to share the practice with you tonight. So why don't we get started? So we'll start with a little opening meditation and stillness. So you can decide on what position is going to work for you this evening. You want to pick a position that promotes the most ease in your physical body in this moment. It might be seated cross-legged like I am. It might be lying down on your back. It might be in child's pose, or even seated up against the wall or in a chair. But you need to find the position that promotes the most ease for you, because if your body is not at ease, it's going to be difficult to be comfortable being still. So take a moment, experiment with a few different positions, and then settle your body. And once you've done that, then lower your eyelids most of the way, or close them all the way if you'd like. And turn your attention inward. So making that shift. Paying attention to what's outside of the self. And gradually start to bring more attention inside to the inner self. Connect to the rhythm of your natural breathing pattern. Be sure to be breathing in and out of your nose. Keep your mouth closed. Inhale and exhale from your nostrils. Just by bringing your attention to your breath and breathing in and out of your nose, you're fostering a healthier way of being. Focusing on your breath starts to still the thoughts of the mind, which promotes a better state of mental wellness and health. And by breathing in and out through your nose, it's a healthier action for your body. Our nose is amazing. It heats and humidifies the air before it makes its way into our delicate lung tissue. It also extracts and cleans the air, removing particulates out of the air. And furthermore, breathing in and out of our nostrils helps us move into the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest mode. It helps us to relax and calm down. So if you decide in this moment that you're going to do nothing more but sit here and breathe with awareness in and out of your nose, you're practicing the highest level of yoga that there is. It has very little to do with the postures. The postures are a way to make our body happy and healthy so we can sit in stillness for long periods of time. But of course, this is a Hatha yoga class, which involves breath and postures. So we'll start by coordinating some simple movements to the rhythm of our breath. So if you're in a position other than seated, start to make your way up to seated. You can keep your eyes closed or open your eyes and take your fingertips to touch the ground, just to the outsides of your body. Now listen to your breath. As you draw a breath in, float your arms up. Bring them as close as you can up over your head. And then when you breathe out, lower your hands down. Inhale, lift your arms up. You can also lift your chin away from your chest if you want to get your neck involved. And exhale, lower down. You could lower your chin down towards your chest if you'd like that additional neck stretch. So when you breathe in, raise your arms up. Finish your inhale as your palms get as close together as is comfortable for you. And then when you exhale, finish your exhale as your fingertips land down on your mat or down on the floor. A few more times, lift up and lower. And we'll change this movement just slightly. So the next time your arms are up over your head, keep them up there. We're going to start moving from side to side. Exhale, place one hand down to the ground and lean to the side with the fingertips that are down. Inhale and come to the center, and then exhale, lean to the other side. Just moving back and forth here. Try to keep your hips down as you stretch up and out of your waist. Keeping your attention fixed on your breath. It shouldn't be, oh, I'm inhaling, I need to come back to the center, and oh, I'm exhaling, I need to lean. You let the breath determine the rhythm of the movements. And that concentration helps to take your mind out of the equation, which can help lead to deeper states of happiness, of inner peace, and of wellness in all different aspects of being. Let's go one more time to each side. And then changing this movement again, now we'll take a twist. So inhale and come to the middle. Then exhale, reach hand to your opposite knee and look over your shoulder. It doesn't matter which way you go. Now you can choose to hold this statically. Take a couple breaths in your twist. Or if you'd like to continue moving with your breath, you could inhale to the center, exhale and twist, changing the shape of your body with each change in the direction of air. You decide what works best for you. If you're holding to one side, this is probably a good time to switch to the other side. You're alternating back and forth. You can just keep alternating. All right, let's release our twist. Come on forward to all fours, onto your hands and your knees. And bring your feet kind of close together. And exhale, sit down on your heels. Sink your hips back towards the ground. And drop your forehead down to your child's pose. Take a few breaths here. On International Day of Yoga, they have a theme every year for some of the different aspects and benefits of a yoga practice. And the theme for 2021 is yoga for well-being. Yoga for well-being. So talking about how the practice of yoga can be a holistic way of health for anyone. Anyone. There's a practice of yoga for everyone that is out there. So a beautiful way of bringing together mind, body, and spirit through the practice of yoga. All right, another little mini Vinny or mini flow we'll put together with our breathing. From child's pose, inhale, raise up to that tabletop or all fours position. Exhale, toes to your mat. Press your hips up into the air, coming into an inverted V, downward facing dog. Inhale, lower your knees back down to the floor. And exhale, press your hips back to your heels. And relax your forehead. Again, inhale, rise up to your hands and knees. Exhale, toes to your mat. Lift your hips up. Inverted V. Inhale, knees come back down. Tabletop. Exhale. Drop back into child's pose. So stay connected with your breath. Keep that synchronization of movement coordinated to the rhythm of your breathing. All fours, down dog, and child's pose. Let's do this one more time, and we'll hold in that downward facing dog, the inverted V position. So next time your hips are up, heels are down, looking at your navel, hold there for just a moment. And we'll start to make our way towards standing next. When you breathe out, look to your hands, lift up onto your tippy toes, and start to walk your feet forward. Bend your knees and soften and relax down. Relax forward. A little forward fold here. Release your back and the back sides of your legs. You can let your arms hang. You can shake your head. Yes and no, you can grab your elbows or wrap your arms behind the backs of your legs. A few moments here. Gently release your lower body. Especially if you've done a lot of sitting today. This deeper release can feel really good. All right, release your hands down towards the ground. Bend your knees. Draw your belly in. We're going to slowly come on up to stand. Wonderful. continue with a couple of sun salutations. And we're going to start with Ardha Surya Namaskar, which means half sun salutation. In English, do you know what yesterday was? Besides Father's Day, happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there and caregivers. It was the solstice yesterday, the longest day of the year. So of course we've got to take a moment to honor the sun and greet the sun with our energy. And that's what we're going to do with these next couple of flowing sequences. So here we go. Inhale, raise your arms up. Gaze up at your hands. Exhale, fold forward and look down at your toes. Inhale, lift up halfway, look forward. Exhale, chin towards your chest, look at your knees. Inhale, come up to stand. Raise your arms up, look up at your hands. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, look forward. Exhale, fold again, a little deeper, round in. Inhale, rise up, arms up and look up. Last time through this, exhale, bow forward. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, round your back, fold in. Inhale, rise up. I'm doing a full sun salutation, so it's going to change a little bit. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, half lift, look forward. Exhale, put your hands on your mat. Step your feet to the back of your mat. You can drop your knees if you need to, and bend your elbows. Lower from a high push-up to a low push-up, or all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lift your chest up and look up. Exhale, toes to your mat. Lift your hips up, inverted V. Look at your belly button. Take a few breaths. We'll also do this sequence of movements 2 more times. At the bottom of your exhale, look to your thumbs. Walk your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway, look forward. Exhale, fold in and look at your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Stand up nice and tall, look at your hands. And we'll do it again. Exhale, swan dive, forward. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, palms down, step back. And lower down. Inhale, lift your chest up, look up. Exhale, toes to your mat, lift your hips up. Gaze at your navel. Couple more breaths here. Bottom of your exhale, look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, inhale, come up. Stretch up nice and tall. 1 more time, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, vinyasa, palms down, step back. Lower yourself down. Inhale, lift your chest up, upward facing dog. Exhale, toes to your mat, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Bottom of your exhale, look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold and look at your knees. Now changing it again, bend your knees. Inhale, lift your chest up like you're seated in a chair. Moving into sun salutation variation B. Hands can be to your hips. You can bring them to your heart, or you can stretch them over your head. It's about the legs here. The arms are secondary. You do what works best for you and what works for your breath. What works best for your breath. Exhale, straighten your legs and fold. Look at your belly. Inhale, half lift, look forward. Exhale, palms down, step back and lower, taking a vinyasa. Lower down nice and slow. Inhale, lift your chest up, look up. Exhale, toes to your mat, lift your hips up. Turn your left foot out to the left. Step your right foot forward. Put your right foot in between your hands. Bend your right knee. Inhale, raise your arms up and look at your hands. Exhale, lower your hands down. Step your right foot back. Take another vinyasa, high, low push-up. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, toes to your mat, lift your hips up. Turn your right foot out to the right so you can step your left foot forward. Keep bending your left knee. Strong legs. Inhale, raise your arms up, look at your hands. Exhale, vinyasa. Palms down. Step back, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Few more breaths here. Bottom of your exhale, look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold and bend your knees. Inhale, lift your chest up. You decide what's best for your arms. And we'll do that again. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, look forward. Exhale, palms down, step back and lower. Take your vinyasa. Left foot out to the left. Step your right foot to your hands. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, lower your hands down. Step back, second vinyasa. Change sides, right foot down. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, third vinyasa. Once you land your inverted V, take a couple of breaths. We'll do that sequence one more time. Bottom of your exhale, look to your hands, walk your feet up. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep your arms up, or at least your chest up. Exhale, straighten your legs and fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, vinyasa. Left foot to the mat. Step your right foot forward to your hands. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, second vinyasa. Drop your right foot down, step your left foot forward. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, hands to your mat. Third vinyasa. Few breaths in your inverted V. Bottom of your exhale, look to your hands. Walk up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, lift your chest up. And exhale, come to stand. And relax your arms. Good job. I'm hoping that you're a little bit more warmed up now. A little bit more warmed up. Now, in honor of this special day, I brought us a little special game to play tonight. Again, hoping we'd be in person, but that's okay. We can do it even if we're not in person. Now, this is a yoga deck. It's a deck of cards, and each of the cards has a different yoga posture. So we're going to play around with these and see what happens. So what pose are we doing next? I don't know. We're going to shuffle the cards and see what we get. Here we go. I'm going to give them a shuffle. I'm going to pick one from the middle, and we'll see what happens from there. Oh, here we go. Our first one, the universe must be telling us we need to stretch our hips. This is Baddha Konasana, bound angle or cobbler's pose in English. So it's a seated posture. So we're standing up. We're going to take a seat. And of course, I'm going to take a moment to plug a little functional movement in here. So if you're standing, see if you can just bend your knees and sit down without using your hands. Really good for the health of your body, especially as we age. Helps to keep your balance, works your core and stabilizing musculature. So just bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees. Sit down. Get down as low as you can. And then eventually, boop, sit down on your bottom. If that doesn't work for you and you need to use your hands, it's all good. Use your hands, no big deal. Once you're seated, bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees move apart from one another. Relax your hands on your feet. Take an inhale, lift your chest up. And exhale, fold forward. great posture for loosening up tight hips or a tight low back. If you or someone you know struggles with that, either you or encourage them to sit on the floor in this position, feet together, knees wide, and lean forward. We have a lot of not necessarily muscle tissue, but connective tissue, ligaments and tendons, things like that, in and around our hips and low back. And it's harder to stretch that connective tissue than it is to stretch muscle tissue. So spending some quality time, taking some quality breaths while you're here, as often as you can, if you struggle with tightness or tension in those areas, always time well spent. Always time well spent. Let's take 2 more breaths here. 2 breaths. All right, then inhale and lift. Lift your chest up. So stay in that position. I'm going to draw another card, and then we'll transition to something else. But what it is, I don't know. Just picking from the middle. Oh, it's another grounded posture. Yes, the universe wants us to stay grounded in our practice. It's a variation of a locust pose. So staying seated will be a pretty easy transition because this one is from lying down on our bellies. So from your Baddha Konasana position, side or a bound ankle, cobbler's pose, you're going to bring your knees together towards one another and cross your ankles and roll forward. Now, if you don't have happy, healthy knees and that's not working, that's okay. But you're going to come forward onto all fours and walk your hands forward and lower yourself down so you're lying on your belly. This is a lying down back bend. There's a couple different parts to it, so we'll go through them separately and then put it all together. So stretch your arms out in front of you first. Stretch your arms out in front of you. You can lower your forehead down to your mat. And when you inhale, lift your arms and your chest up. So just the upper part of your body is lifted. Make sure that your feet are very grounded against the earth. It is a back bend, so you've got to use your legs here. Take 1 more breath. Exhale, lower down. Then you can create a pillow with your hands, which means you're going to fold or put your hands one on top of the other and lower your head down. Because now we're going to shift our attention to our lower body, just lifting our legs. So now with an inhale, lift just your legs up. Press your hips down into the ground. It helps if you point your feet and tighten all the muscles in your legs. It's easier if you engage those muscles. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Last breath, exhale, lower your legs down. Now we're going to put the 2 of those together and then change a variation, introduce a variation with our arms. So legs are straight behind us. Arms will be straight out in front of us. When we inhale, big inhale, lift your arms and your legs up at the same time. Now you can stay here, or the variation on the card is you're going to interlace your fingers behind your back and lift your chest up a little bit higher. Draw your shoulder blades back and lift your chest up while your legs are lifted. Let's take 1 more breath. Then exhale, lower it all down. Again, you can create a pillow with your hands, or you can turn your head to one side. And if you'd like to release that back bend right away, going into child's pose is a good choice. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, press up to all fours. And exhale, press your hips back. Releasing the back bend. Or you can just stay on your belly and take deep breaths into your stomach. That works just as well. So hold there for a moment while I consult the cards. And we'll see where we go next. It's another pose for being on the floor. Apparently we need to be on the floor for a little bit today. Purvottanasana, or inclined plank, or reverse plank, it's sometimes called. That's where we're going next. So from your child's pose, or from lying on your belly, you want to inhale and come up to all fours. Cross your ankles behind you if you have happy, healthy ankles. And then roll over your ankles and extend your legs out in front of you. Again, if you have to make your way to the seated position in another way, please do what you need to do. And there's a couple different ways to do Purvottanasana. Again, we'll go through kind of the more basic approach to it first, and then add something on. So take your hands and place them behind you with your fingertips pointing in towards your body. And then bend your knees. Feet should be about hip width distance apart, because if your feet are close to one another, if your feet are close, it's hard to balance. But you want to move your feet about hip width distance apart. And you're going to press down with your hands and press down with your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up into the air. You can keep your chin in a neutral position if you'd like, or drop your head back. Either way, look at the tip of your nose. Take a couple of deep breaths. Let's take one more breath. And exhale, lower your hips down. Extend your legs out and come up to seated. Now we're going to do another repetition of that posture. And so if you like the way that one felt in your body and in your breath, that reverse table position with the knees bent, then stay there. Do another set of that. Otherwise, the full variation is more of an inclined plank position. So we're going to keep our legs stretched out, which is a little bit more challenging. So you decide what works best for you. Hands behind you, fingertips pointed in. If you're choosing to keep your legs extended, then point your toes. Point your toes. Inhale, press down with your hands and lift your hips up and drop your head back. So gazing at the tip of your nose. Another wonderful back bend and heart opener. We'll take 2 more breaths. Keep pushing your hips up. Good, and then lower down. Bring yourself up to seated. And if you'd like to roll or shake out your wrists after that, take a moment to do that while I select another card. I'll select another card. Let's see what we get. See what we get. Oh my goodness. It's another floor pose. Apparently we need to stay grounded. The universe is telling us that we need to stay more on the ground for right now. So this is Supta Padangusthasana, or supine big toe hold in English. So again, it'll be a pretty easy transition from that seated position. So here we go. We're gonna lie down. Lie down on your back. Hug your knees in towards your chest to start. And we generally start yoga postures, if there's a left and the right, we start with the right side, which honors the sun. Now the word hatha, as in hatha yoga, or the yoga of postures, ha means the sun, tha means the moon. So we start with the right to honor the sun, and then we honor the moon. And this has a left and a right. So put your left foot down on the ground and hug your right knee in. Now if you can, you take your peace sign fingers, your middle and index finger, slide it in between the big toe, second toe gap. So grab your toe if you can. If that's not working, you just want to hang on to your knee, that's totally cool. So get your peace sign fingers around your right big toe if you can. Left hand to your hip or just on the floor. And with an inhale, Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Now your leg does not have to be straight here. You just lengthen the back side of your leg. You can keep your left leg bent, or you can extend your left leg out on your mat or on the floor. Just a nice elongation of the back side of your right leg. Try to keep the rest of your body relaxed while you're here. Take one more breath. And then we'll change sides. So we'll start by hugging both knees. Hug both of your knees in first. And then put your right foot down on the ground. Grab either your left knee or peace sign fingers of your left hand. Wrap them around your left big toe. Right hand to your hip or relax it down on the ground. Inhale, start to extend your left leg up. Left heel up towards the ceiling. Keep your knee bent or slide your right leg out. Different stretches and sensations in the hips and the back. And it can be very different one side to the other, so please be mindful of that. The experience isn't going to be exactly the same one side to the other. Final round of breath on this side. And then let it go. If you want, you can extend and make yourself nice and long. Raise your arms over your head, point your toes, and get nice and long. And then draw your knees in and give your knees a hug. And I'll shuffle these up and grab another card. Grab another card. Let's see what we get. Oh, Janu Shirshasana. Bent legs, seated forward fold. Another grounded posture. Who knew? I guess that's where we're going to be, at least for now. All right, so from lying on your back, hug your knees in, and you can grab either on top of or underneath your knees and rock yourself up. Now, if rocking yourself up doesn't work, you want to roll to one side and press yourself up. That works just fine. This pose does have a right and a left, so again, to honor the sun first, we're going to start by extending your left leg and fold your right foot in towards your left inner thigh. Inhale and stretch your arms up over your head. Exhale, turn to your left. Exhale and fold. Put your hands somewhere on your left leg. Relax forward. Now you can look at your left big toe, or you can look at your left knee. Whatever feels best in your body in this moment. So regardless of the different, shapes that we take, there should always be a sense of ease, in a sense of connectedness to your breathing. If that is not happening, if you're struggling or holding your breath, or there's so much, pain sensation in your body that it is distracting, that's a sign that you need to ease up a little bit, because there isn't any yoga happening. You're not really promoting a sense of well-being and harmony if you're struggling like that. So you always listen to your breath for those signs, and change the shape of your body if you need to, so you can always honor the rhythm of your breathing. With an inhale, come on up. You can raise your arms up if you want to. You don't have to. We're going to change legs. So now left foot folds into the right inner thigh. Inhale and stretch up. Exhale, turn, twist, and fold. Something else that was said about the International Day of Yoga is that not only does yoga, promote a sense of well-being and holistic health, but it also offers a ray of hope, a ray of hope to all of us during these, uncertain times as we're dealing with a lot of, difficult things, difficult issues, not only individually, right, but collectively, a lot of the things that we're facing. And yoga can be that ray of hope or that sanctuary, that refuge from a lot of that. But we can still be happy and healthy and peaceful regardless of the challenges that we all face. And our yoga practice or our meditation practice can be that ray of hope. I thought that was so beautiful, so beautiful. And then with an inhale, come on up. You might want to cross your legs, bring your legs into a more neutral position while I select another card, and we'll see where we go. I wonder if we're ever going to stand up. I don't know. Maybe not. They say you don't pick the cards pick you. The cards pick you. So you just never know what you're going to get. No, guess what? It's another seated posture, Vajrasana, sometimes called Thunderbolt, sometimes called Hero in English, but a seated posture. And maybe we'll work through a couple of variations to stretch a couple different parts of our lower body here. So we'll give it a whirl. Oh, and my cat decided to join us. Hello, Orange. This is my cat, Orange, my yoga cat. When I get to my mat, sometimes she gets very clingy, very excited. She wants to be near me. So if you're seated, which most of us probably are, we're going to come up onto our knees. So sitting on your knees. Now, if sitting on your knees like this is a no-go, then just stay in a seated position, Sukhasana, and it works just fine. So for Thunderbolt, we just simply sit in this position. And for some of us, depending on if we have a lot of tension in our quadricep muscles, this can be a nice stretch and release right here in those big thigh muscles. And energetically speaking, if you have chronically tight quadriceps, and you weren't perhaps doing a lot of running or doing a lot of squats or something that would necessarily cause that. It's a sign that your mind might have a lot of worry in it, that you're worrying a lot. So if there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of tension in the quadriceps. If you're sitting here and you're like, I don't really feel a whole lot, you can start to lean back to increase the amount of stretch in your quadriceps. So walk your hands back. You can even start to bend your elbows a little bit. Drop your knees down towards the ground. Press your hips up slightly, but don't lift them from your heels. And lengthen the front side of your body. And you get a nice big stretch along those worry muscles, along those quadriceps, leaning back. But again, any knee issues, this is not very knee friendly. So if you're still seated, that's okay. Then we'll do one final variation of this posture, which stretches out the feet. So we'll come back up, so you're in more of that seated position. Rock forward a bit. You can even place your hands on your mat and tuck your toes like downward facing dog, so that your toes are on your mat. And then leaning back, sit down on your heels. This is a big stretch along the bottom of the foot, the arch of your foot. It also really stretches your toes. Some yogis, I'm sure with nothing but affection and love, call this toe-killing posture. Toe-killing posture. I'm sure the yogis didn't intend that originally, but great way to stretch the feet. stretch the feet. And also a good pose that you can scratch your cat's head. Ooh, you're such a crazy kitty. You can even lean back a little bit, combining those two stretches. Again, that could be a little intense. If that's not for you, then it's not for you. And that's okay. All right, well, come on up. Release your feet down to the floor. And again, you might want to take a more neutral position, so cross your ankles and sit down. And we'll wait for the next posture. See what we get. You're gonna hang right next to me, huh, Orange? Is that how it's gonna go down? That's okay, sweetie. I like it. Holy moly. It is still another pose on the ground. Dhanurasana, or floor bow. It's another back bend done from the ground. So we'll give this one a try. So from your seated position, we're going to need to make our way down onto our belly. So keeping your ankles crossed. Again, if you have happy, healthy ankles. Come on forward onto all fours. Walk your hands forward, walk your knees back, and slowly lower down onto your belly. Now this pose also has a couple of different ways to get into it. And so we'll go through the more basic shape first, and then we'll put it all together. So here we go. First, we're going to bend your right knee. Bend your right knee. Another great stretch for the quadriceps. And now take your right hand, reach back and grab your foot. And pull your foot in. So your heel is coming in towards your body. Now you can just stay here, or if you want to bring a little bit more energy into this back bend, you can kick your foot into your hand and lift your leg up just a little bit off the ground. But again, if that's too much, just keep your leg down. That's all right. Just keep your leg down. It's all good. Leg up or leg down. One more breath. Let's lower it down. We're going to change sides. So this time, bend your left knee. Take your left hand. Stretch and reach back. See if you can grab your foot. If you can't grab your foot, just act like you can get close. Yeah, or at least just stretch back there and see. Maybe even look back there. Yep, my foot's still back there. You might not be able to reach it, and that's all right. So just hold here, drawing your heel in towards your bottom, or you can start to kick foot into hand, pull with your hand on your foot. Lift your leg up a little bit, although you don't necessarily have to. And then lower it down. And then what do you think we're going to do next? We're going to do both at the same time. Both at the same time. Now, if the idea of that is too much, you can just hold on to your right foot for a breath or two, then hold on to your left foot for a breath or two. There's nothing wrong with staying with alternating. Otherwise, bend both of your knees, reach back, and grab both of your feet. And just stay here. You're mimicking the shape of an archer's bow. Your arms represent the string of the bow, and your body represents, the wooden part. I would tell you what the name of that is, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, kick your feet into your hands if you want. Pull with your hands on your feet and lift both of your legs up off of your mat at the same time. Again, if that's too much, it's too much. But it's a big back bend. Really squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. But it's driven by the kicking. Now, the more you use your legs in any kind of back bend, the more the back will arch. The more the back will arch. Let's take one more breath. And if your legs are up, put your legs down. Release your feet. Make a pillow with your hands and drop your head down. Breathe deeply to your belly. Or if you want to release the back bend, by taking a child's pose. You can take a child's pose too. Lots of back bends. Back bends. Honor Surya energy, the energy of the sun. And we just had the solstice, so there's still a a lot of sun energy. Although here, you know, at least I'm in Woodstock. In Woodstock, it's pretty cloudy, but there's still a lot of sun energy around us right now. So putting together those plans or intentions that you want to put out there, things you want to accomplish between this solstice, which is the summer solstice, and the winter solstice, which is between December 20th and 22nd. So putting out those intentions of things that you want to create or manifest between now and the winter solstice. Very auspicious time to start putting those plans into action, or writing them down, or you know, making those contacts, or just starting that process. Great time to start doing that. And back bends help support that creative energy. Still on the ground. Are we honestly going to go through a whole 50 yoga postures and we're going to end up on the ground the whole time? It could be. They're calling this through the whole stretch. I know this is supine pigeon, or supta kapotasana in Sanskrit. Another great hip stretch. Also very knee-friendly hip stretch, which sometimes hip stretching and knee-friendly don't always go together. But this particular pose, great for stretching the hips and also doesn't overtax the knees. So we need to make our way onto our back. So if you are in child's pose or lying on your belly, you'll want to come up to all fours, cross your ankles, roll over your ankles, or bring your hips to one side, works just as well. Lie down on your back, hug your knees in toward your chest. And we'll start with the right side. Inhale and kick both of your legs up into the air to start. Exhale, take your right leg. Again, we always want to honor the sun, the sun first. Right heel to your left thigh. Right heel to your left thigh. Now you can just stay here. You can put your left foot down on the ground. Just hang here and get a nice hip stretch. You can keep your leg extended, or you can bend your knee. Take your hands, take your right hand and put it through the hole. That's the through the hole part, yeah. And you can either grab underneath your knee on your hamstring, or grab the top of your shin. And you want to draw your lower body in towards your upper body. That's what helps to give you that nice stretch in your hips. Some people have pretty open hips and they don't feel a lot with this. And if that's the case, if you rock side to side, you might get to a point that, I can feel a little stretch there. If that's the case, then stay there for a few breaths, yeah? Rock back and forth. Or you can stay still and just use the energy and power in your arms to squeeze your lower body in. The next time you inhale, release your legs if you're holding on. Kick both of your legs up. And now it's time for the left side, the thigh or the moon side. Left heel on top of your right thigh. Again, many options with the legs here. Keep your right leg up. Put your right foot down. Or hover your right foot. And grab onto your right leg. Rock side to side. Again, if you're not really feeling much of a stretch, when we stretch our hips, it invites us to connect with the energy of our past. Any attachments or emotions that we have connected to our past are often stored in the hips. And taking some time to release and stretch and consciously relax this area, we can get rid of some of that stuff that no longer serves us, we can clean it out of our energetic body. And sometimes, people really like hip stretches, but sometimes they can feel a little painful, while they're in it. It's one of those where you have to surrender, you have to soften. And hip stretches aren't about, trying to manipulate your body into a certain shape. Instead, it's about softening and relaxing. All right, let's release this. So kick both of your legs up into the air. And then either keep your hands where they are, or if you want to support your low back with your hands, you can. Point your toes. And we're going to slowly start to lower the legs down, 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 down. Good. And inhale, stretch your arms over your head. Make yourself nice and long. Then we'll take a final twist. We didn't do a lot of twisting in today's practice, so bend your knees. Bring your feet and your knees close together. You can keep your arms over your head or take them out like the letter T. Inhale, and exhale, drop both of your knees to the right and look over your left shoulder. Let's twist to the other side. Inhale to the center. Exhale, shift to the left. Head to the right. We'll come to the center again. If you want to give your knees a final squeeze, squeeze them in. And then we'll release down for final relaxation. You can keep your knees bent or extend your legs out. Just like it when we started practicing tonight, you want to find a position that promotes the most ease. You want to lower your gaze or close your eyes. And pay attention to your breathing. Don't let the mind start to wander off. Not yet. It's still yoga time. We'll release the physical practice and listen to what's going on inside. Some deeper breaths. Take a nice stretch. Slowly make your way up to seated. Roll to one side or rock yourself up to your seat. And draw your hands to your heart so you can seal the practice together with unconditional love and gratitude. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today, especially on this International Day of Yoga, as we spread the gift and the love that is yoga all over the globe on a special day like today. So have a wonderful evening. I hope to see you again very soon. Namaste. Namaste. Have a good evening, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.